Hello children. Today in this class we are going to study new chapter that is about water. Water is the most one of our basic needs. Isn't it children? Without water we cannot live. It is very essential for the existence and survival of all the living things. We use water we use water for drinking, bathing, washing, cleaning, and many other purposes. Isn't it, children? It is found in seas, rivers, lakes, etc., and even in the atmosphere. It is required by all living things for survival. Plants require water to produce food. Seeds require water to germinate. Animals also require water to stay alive. It would not be wrong to say that there would be no life on earth without water. Nearly 70% of our body weight is water. Okay, now let's see some of the uses of water in human body. Water plays an important role in the human body. So, as I have already told, 70% of our body weight is water. Okay, children. Now, let's learn some of the uses of water in human body. Water dissolves the nutrients and salt present in our food. Yes, when we are drinking water, water helps to dissolve the nutrient and salt found in water. Okay, so that digestion and absorption of food by our body will take place easily. Understood? So, what is the function? First function of water in human body is it dissolves the nutrients and salt present in food, which helps digestion and absorption of food by our body to easy. Then it helps to regulate the body temperature. Okay, so water helps us to maintain body temperature properly. Then it also helps to transport oxygen and food in the body. So you know oxygen is very important. It is required by all of our body cells, isn't it, children? So water helps to transport oxygen and food throughout the body. Water also helps to expel waste from the body in the form of urine and sweat. Okay, so water helps to remove waste which is not needed, which is unwanted for the body. It can be used, it helps to remove the waste in the form of urine and sweat from the body. Understand, children? These are the certain uses of water in human body. So, not only human body water is very important, it is also used for agriculture. So, plant without water, plant cannot able to grow. Yes, so water it is used for agriculture. It is also used in industries like steel mills, paper factories, etc. Okay, so water is used in industries. It is also used to generate electricity. Such electricity is called as hydroelectricity. So water is used to generate electricity. So the electricity which generated from water is called as hydroelectricity. Now, water is also acts as an coolant in power generation. Okay, so it acts as a coolant in power generation. It is used to clean toilets, streets, etc. So, for cleaning purpose, we are using water. Understand, children? Now, ships and boats that are used to transport goods and people sail on water. Yes, you know, ship and boats, they will sail on water, which is used to transport goods to other parts of our country. Then water is also used to extinguish fires. It is used to extinguish fires. Then water is used for water sports like river rafting. It is a universal solvent. So water is used to dissolve many things. So what is meant by solvent? Solvent is a substance which dissolve many things. So water is called as an universal solvent because it is used to dissolve many things. These are some of the uses of water. So water is used for agriculture, it is used in industry, it is used to generate electricity, used to clean toilets, streets, and it's used to extinguish fires, used for water sports like river rafting, etc. Understand, children? Now let's see some how the water is distributed on earth. Distribution of water on earth. You have learned about 70% of earth's surface is covered with water. Yes, among 100%, one third of the earth's surface is covered with, one fourth of earth's surface is covered with water. Okay, that is about 70% of earth's surface is covered with water. Let us study the following chart to understand the distribution of water on the earth. So here you can see the percentage level of water in the earth's surface. So 97% of water on the earth is in ocean. Okay, and only 3% of water is fresh water. Okay, so water, 97% of water is ocean, that is sea water, and only 3% is fresh water. And this fresh water is also available in the form of ice caps and glaciers, then groundwater and accessible surface fresh water. So about this we are going to learn. 79% of fresh water is available in the form of ice caps and glaciers, and 20% of fresh water is stored in ground, that is groundwater, and other surface fresh water is 1%. Okay, now accessible means we can use it. Surface fresh water is in lakes about 52% of water is available. Then 1% is water which is within the living organism, and river 8%. Okay, in rivers there is an 8% of water. Then 8% of water is in the form of water vapor, that is in atmosphere, and 38% of water is in soil moisture. Among this 1%, only 1% is within living organism, and river 8%, water vapor 8%, soil moisture 38%, lacks 52%. Okay, so this is about the distribution of the water on the earth's surface. Okay, so only less amount of water, only very little, that is approximately 0.01 percentage of water is available for human consumption. So there is an urgent need to save water. Okay, so in order to conserve water for future generations, very important, we have to save water. We should not use water lavishly. Now let's learn about sources of water. What is meant by sources? From where do we get water? So some of the sources of water are, first one is rainwater. Rain is the main source of water. It is the purest form of natural water. Okay, but it becomes impure when it's falling down, as it mixes with the dust particles, germs, etc. Okay, so which is the main source of water? Rain. Okay, rainwater is the main source of water. It is the purest form of natural water, but when it comes down, it mixes with dust particle and become impure. Now next is about surface water. Okay, surface water, it is available in rivers and lakes. So rivers and lakes are formed due to the melting of snow on the mountains. Okay, so how rivers and lakes are formed? Due to the melting of snow on the mountains. The water in rivers and lakes is dirty because of the presence of germs and mud. The water that you get in your tubs come from rivers or lakes. It need to be purified because it contains lot of impurities. These impurities are removed in water treatment plants. So purified water is then supplied to our house through pipes. Okay, so in our house we are getting the purified water in which the impurities are removed by certain water treatment process. Okay, then the purified water will be supplied to our house through pipes. Then about sea water, all streams and rivers fall into the sea, and it will add dissolved salt into it. So sea water is salty and is called as saline water. Okay, sea water is salty, so it is called as what? Saline water. Sea water is unfit for drinking, and we cannot use it for agriculture or any industrial needs. Okay, then about underground water. So some of the rainwater, it will seeps through the soil deep into the ground and collects over the non-porous rock, that is underground water. So groundwater passes through the layers of soil, it gets filtered and it will be free of impurities. Okay, and the level of groundwater at a place is called water table. Okay, so the groundwater which it is stored and that place is called as water table. So how we'll get groundwater? Groundwater will get by digging wells or by using hand pumps and tube wells. Groundwater is safe for bathing, cooking and washing. Okay, then the water table, it varies from place to place and from season to season. Okay, the level of groundwater where there is little or no vegetation or where most land is covered with concrete. Okay, so the level of groundwater will be less if there is no vegetation or if the land is covered with concrete. Okay, so this covering the land with concrete, or if there is no vegetation, it will reduce the seepage of water into the soil and will reduce the level of groundwater. Okay, so this become a great cause for worry. Nowadays you can see most of the place will be covered with concrete. Yes, so it will reduce the level of groundwater and it become the a great cause for worry. Now let's learn about water cycle in nature. Water escapes from the earth and return to the earth by a series of steps in a cyclic form. That process is called as water cycle. Children, you have learned in your lower classes itself about water cycle, isn't it, children? So this is well known topic for you. So water which escape from the earth, it will go to the atmosphere. Again from the atmosphere it will return back to the earth. That is like cycling process. So the process is called what? Water cycle. Now let's learn what are the process take place during water cycle. The water in oceans, seas, lakes, etc., it will continue to evaporate due to the heat of the sun. Okay, by which liquids get converted into vapor, which is called as evaporation. So what is meant by evaporation? Due to the heat of the sun, the water present in the ocean, sea lakes gets converted to liquid, which is called as evaporation. The water gets converted into vapor, which is called as evaporation. Now plants also, they will release water into the air by the process called transpiration. So what is meant by transpiration? Excess water. Okay, so the process of removal of excess water from the plant in the form of water vapor is called as transpiration. Okay, so first process is evaporation. So that is due to the heat of the sun, water from the ocean, sea lakes gets converted into vapor, which is called as evaporation. And transpiration, through transpiration process also water gets evaporated. So what is meant by transpiration? Plants, okay, in plants the excess water will be removed in the form of water vapor, which is called as transpiration. Okay, and animals and humans also release water vapor in the atmosphere during breathing. Okay, so even animals and humans, we will release water vapor in the atmosphere during breathing. Now this water vapor rises up in the atmosphere. On meeting cool air, it condenses into drops of water. So again, when it rises to the atmosphere, it meets the cool air, and this water vapor again gets converted into drops of water. That process is called condensation. Okay, now drops of water stick together to form a clouds. Okay, so these drops of water will stick together to form clouds. Okay, and now when the clouds become big and heavy, they fall as rain, hail or snow. Okay, and this rain gets collected in seas, lakes, ponds, etc., and it also go into the ground as groundwater. Again this water on the earth again changes to vapor, and the water cycle will be continuous. Okay, so this is the this is about water cycle. Understood, children? So in water cycle, what are the process took place? Evaporation, transpiration, condensation. Okay, after condensation again the water will come in the form of rain to the earth. Again from water on the earth changes to vapor, and the water cycle will be continually, it will be taking place. Understand, children? Now let's learn about floods. Heavy rains for a long time result in the level of water rise in rivers and lakes, causing them to flow over nearby land, resulting in flood. So what is meant by flood? Due to heavy rain, the level of water in the river and lakes get raised, and which will make to flow the water from rivers and lakes over nearby land, which causes floods. Understand, children? Now causes of floods. What are the causes of floods? Heavy continuous rainfall. If there is a continuous rainfall, it leads to floods. Okay, And not only that, cyclones means heavy wind which will bring with heavy rain. Okay, heavy rain with strong winds, that is called cyclone. So cyclones also what cause floods. Then landslides which may block rivers. Okay, so landslides will also result in what, blocking of rivers, which will make the water to flow over to the nearby lands, which causes floods. Then tsunami or tidal waves in the oceans also causes floods. Okay, now effects of floods. Effects of floods: it causes soil erosion. Soil erosion means removal of topmost layer of the earth. Okay, so floods will cause soil erosion by washing away the top fertile layer of the soil. It also destroys the crops, leading to the shortage of food. Okay, so if there is a flood, it leads to destroy crops, leading to shortage of food. It causes damage to houses and other property, and heavy floods also cause loss of life. Okay, many animals get carried away in floods. Okay, so floods also cause loss of life. It adversely affects communication. So when there is a flood, we cannot communicate with the other people. Electricity supply also will be cut due to the flood. And drains means sewage, what drainage sites, they get blocked during floods, which may result in breaking out of diseases. So waterborne diseases like cholera, diarrhea, it will break due to the consumption of contaminated water. Okay, so these are some of the effects of floods. This can be reduced by channelizing river and lake water and by building dams across rivers. Okay, now let's learn about drought. Drought is a condition when there is no rainfall for a long period. Okay, it is a condition which occurs when there is no rainfall for a long period. In some regions of India, there is very little rainfall in the summer month. During summer month, there will be a very little rainfall, and so that in that areas there will be a shortage of water. Okay, so in states like due to the shortage of water, rivers and ponds dry up, and states like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, or especially they are often they are facing the drought condition because of the less rainfall for a long period. Now effects of droughts. So due to the drought, soil becomes dry and hard and begins to crack. This makes it infertile. Then water table, groundwater table goes down, causing scarcity of groundwater. Then vegetation dries up and dies, so that there will be a scarcity of food. What is meant by scarcity? Lack of food. Then top fertile layer gets blown away by winds. Okay, so due to drought, the top fertile layer of the soil gets blown away by winds, and people and animals, they will die due to the lack of food and water. That is called starvation, which leads to famine. Due to thirst and dehydration, humans and animals also die. Okay, so now ways to save water. So using bucket and mug for bathing, instead of bathing under a shower, we can use bucket and mug, so that we can save water. Then using a wet cloth to clean your vehicle instead of a hose pipe. So we are using instead of hose pipe, we can use a wet cloth to clean your vehicle. Then getting the leaking taps repaired. So the taps which was leaking should be repaired so that we can save water. Then closing the taps while brushing teeth. Okay, so when while brushing teeth we should close the taps. So then one more method to save or to conserve water is rainwater harvesting. What is meant by rainwater harvesting? It is a method of collecting rainwater from roofs and street corners and storing it for future use. Okay, so two ways of rainwater harvesting are rooftop rainwater harvesting, roadside rainwater harvesting. What are the two ways of rainwater harvesting? Rooftop rainwater harvesting, roadside rainwater harvesting. So here you can see in the picture, that is rooftop rainwater harvesting. In this system, rainwater will be collected on the rooftop and allowed to go into storage tank through pipes. Okay. Then the stored water present in tanks may contain impurities, so it should be filtered for before use. Okay, so you can use this water for any purpose but avoid drinking it. Okay, you can use it for planting, for watering the plants, etc. Now this is the diagram which represent roadside rainwater harvesting. Okay, in this system, rainwater from roadside, it will go directly into the pits, okay, or recharge wells or trenches in the ground. This helps to raise the groundwater level. Okay, so this is about rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting, it is the one of the important method which is used to conserve the water by collecting rainwater from roofs and street corners and storing it for future use. Understand, children? I hope that you all understand about the importance of water in this lesson. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Thank you, children.